Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tina, Winona, and Una. Tina, Winona, and Una made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tina, Winona, and Una all together. One day, the king of Doubleburg's messenger said, Hear ye, the king of Doubleburg, his majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and cross shall marry his son, Prince Twinning. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsister, Tina said, he's going to marry me. Winona said, no way, Tina, he's going to marry me. Una said, both of you are wrong, he's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is very sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Twinning. And her fairy godmother asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, why are you crying, Cinderella? Cinderella responds, and sadly, I wanted to go to the ball and marry Prince Twinning. Her fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of double magic. She waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, dibbly dabbly dobbly doo. And all of Cinderella's chores are done, but the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 2 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, dibbly dabbly dobbly doo. Again, turning the 2 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 2 strong horses, and then Cinderella's clothes into a gown and crown. I've never seen such a double-tasted gown. And get a lot of my glass slippers. Cinderella is now ready for the ball. Her fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Twinning was wondering who he should marry. Cinderella, of course. Tina, Winona, and Una shout out together, he's walking towards me! But he's not. But he is walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Twinning danced happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Twinning was so worried, afraid that she might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Doubleburg to find her, and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. He knocked on the door where Cinderella, Tina, Winona, and Una lived. But instead of Cinderella, he found Tina, Winona, and Una. Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on these 2 glass slippers? Prince Twinning asks. Tina is first, but her feet are too big. Winona is next, but her feet are too small. Una is last, but her feet aren't the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Twinning noticed Cinderella's sweet singing. Cinderella shouts excited, Prince Twinning, is that you? Prince Twinning responded, of course it's me. You are from my father's ball. I love you. Will you marry me? Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Twinning back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. Oh, yeah. Andrews Doers. Andrew Knows Everything proudly presents 23-Arella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, in a faraway land named Treyvidge Tumlingham, there was a young woman named 23-Arella. 23-Arella had 11 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Irina, Tasha, Hannah, Rena, and the twins Ellie and Emmy. They constantly made fun of 23-Arella and made her do all the chores. 23 wench, sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do windows, do it all, said the stepsisters all together. One day, the king of Treyvidge Tumlingham's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Treyvidge Tumlingham, his kind, wise, royal majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gallant crown shall marry his son, Prince Treyvidge Tupling. Can I come?" asked 23-Arella. But she's not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. "He's going to marry me," said Tasha, the oldest stepsister. But her younger sisters disagree. They even tear 23-Arella's dress. Later, 23-Arella is so sad, distraught, and upset about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Treyvidge Tupling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts 23-Arella. There now, my dear 23-Arella, she said. "I'll fix everything for you. No one will know it's you." She then waves her magic wand. Because of that, 23-Arella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 23-Arella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some ice." Luckily, 23-Arella has 23 pumpkins and 46 mice. 23-Arella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 23 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 24 mice into strong horses, and fixes 23-Arella's now torn dress and makes it bigger and better. 23-Arella said, "I've never seen such a Treyvidge Tupple-tastic gown! And get a load of my glass slippers! Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough?" And climbed into the coach. 23-Arella, his fairy godmother, said, "Well, you can't. But have fun, 23-Arella, my dear, but I will warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before." And gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. And so, 23-Arella accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Treyvidge Tumlingham says, "Good evening, everyone. Prince Treyvidge Tupling was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son?" In which Prince Treyvidge Tupling responds, "Yes, mother." Suddenly, 23-Arella arrived at the ball just in time. "He's walking towards me," said Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Irina, Tasha, Hannah, Rena, and the twins, Ellie and Emmy, all together. But Prince Treyvidge Tupling is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 23-Arella. Prince Treyvidge Tupling then said, "May I have this dance in which The 23-year-old responds, I would be delighted. Oh boy. And so, 23-year-old and Prince Trevegetopling dance happily together. But later, 23-year-old realizes it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Trevegetopling was really worried that he might never see 23-year-old again. The king of Trevegetoplingham then comforts him by saying, There, no, son, I think we'll be able to find 23-year-old. And so, the king of Trevegetoplingham and Prince Trevegetopling began their journey all around the neighborhood to find 23-year-old. And brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where 23-year-old and her 11 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 23-year-old, they find Tina to Eric. Ellie Demi. Prince Van Trevegetopling then says, Ladies, my father, the king of Trevegetoplingham, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Tasha is first, but her foot is too big. Hell no. Winona said, next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits! But the rest are the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of Trevegetoplingham and Prince Trevegetopling, then 24-year-old is singing, Your Majesty and Prince Trevegetopling, is that you guys? She heard excitedly, The glass slipper fits! And now, 24-year-old, the king of Trevegetoplingham, the king of Trevegetopling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and introduce everything. Buy our merchandise at introduceeverything.com too. Take care. Bye. And now, Introduce Everything proudly presents 235 Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named 235 Cinderella. 235 Cinderella had 21 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Una, Hilda, Uma, Nicola, Diana, Ramona, Estrella, Davina, Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ruby, Tanya, Irina, Fiona, Isabella, Verona, and Emily. Each one of them constantly made fun of 235 Cinderella and made her do all the chores. 235, wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, clean out the pantry. Do it all, said Tina to Emily all together. One day, the king of Duo son Quintertuple's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Duo son Quintertupleville, his royal majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Duo son Quintertuple-Aling. Can I come? Asks 235 Cinderella, but she's not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, they were overjoyed to marry Prince Duo son Quintertuple-Aling. but they argue over later. 235 Rella is so sad, distraught, and upset about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Duo San Quintrill's toppling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts 235 Arella. There, my dear 235 Arella. I'll fix everything for you. No one will know it's you, she said. She then waves her magic wand. And because of that, 230 Arella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 235 Arella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, 235 Arella has 235 pumpkins and 470 mice. 235 Arella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 235 Arella's 235 pumpkins into a handsome coach, and the 470 mice into horses for the coach to draw, and turns 235 Arella's torn dress rags and makes it into a gown and crown, makes it bigger and better. 235 Arella's said, I've never seen such a sent quintuple-tastic gown, and get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? And climbed it into the coach. 235 Arella's chores are. Fairy godmother said, well, you can, but have fun for her, 235 Arella. But I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before. And gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. 235 Arella accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of San Quintrill's says, good evening, everyone. Prince Duo San Quintrill's toppling was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Duke Santa Quintrill's toppling responds yes, father. Suddenly, 235 Arella arrived at the ball just in time. He's walking towards me, say Tina, Winona, Una, Hilda, Uma, Nicola, Diana, Ramona, Estrella, Delphina, Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ruby, Tanya, Yadina, Fiona, Isabella, Veronica, and Emily all together. But Prince Duke San Quintrill's toppling is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 235 Arella. He then says, may I have this dance? In which 235 Arella responds, I would be delighted. And so 235 Arella and Prince Duo San Quintrill's toppling dance happily together. But later, as 235 Arella checks her clock, and it's almost midnight, she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. 200 Prince Quintrill to San Quintrill's toppling was really worried that he might never see the 235 Arella again. The king of San Quintrill's toppling comes by saying, there, now, son. I think we'll be able to find 235 Arella. And so, the king of San Quintrill's toppling and Prince Duo San Quintrill's toppling began their journey all around the neighborhood to find her, and brought the glass slipper with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where 235 Arella and her 21 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 235 Arella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters Tasha to Emily. Prince Duo sang Quintrigan Tumbling then said, Ladies, my father, the king of Duo sang Quintrigan Tumbleville, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you draw on this glass slipper? Tasha is first. But her foot is too big. Hilda is next. But her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits! She said. The rest did the same. But none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of sent to Quintrigan Tumbleville and Prince sent to Quintrigan noticed 235 Rella singing. Your Majesty! And Prince sent Quintrigan Tumbling, is that you guys? She hollered excitedly. And the glass slipper fits! And now, 235 Arella, the king of Ducent Quintrigan Tumbleville, and Prince Ducent Quintrigan Tumbling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew's Doers. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and Andrew does everything. Buy your merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. Take care. Bye.